Hello, everyone, and welcome to this first playthrough or this first installment of Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance. This is the old school game that came out way back in like 2002, 2003. This isn't the game I actually intended to start tonight, but as it turns out, the one that I was hoping to play doesn't actually allow broadcasting, which kind of sucks because I was really excited that I was able to download it. But here we are anyway with another classic action hack and slash RPG. The game that I was trying to play was the Chronicles of Mystara, the arcade games, the Capcom ones from like the 90s, 80s or 90s, set in like there was the Tower of Doom and Shadows over Mystara, and it just wouldn't let me broadcast it. It must be maybe because it's not a title that you can actually purchase anymore. Maybe like I was able to download it because I owned it, but I mean I don't know. It's kind of weird. It would be nice if that's something that they could fix and allow me to broadcast because I would love to do playthroughs of that on Twitch because I think that would be a lot of fun. I guess the other thing I could try if I ever got a capture card, maybe then that would go. But regardless, we're gonna play some, like I said, some Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance. So just bear with me here. Just gotta take a sip of my tea here. My throat's still kind of giving me a little bit of issues over after the last few days. So just one moment. All right. So I guess the question is, which character am I gonna play? The human archer, the dwarven fighter, or the elven sorceress? I am actually playing this just in my own personal time, and I chose the elven sorceress for that. So I'm thinking I might go with the human archer, mainly because he's the one that I play the least. So we'll see how that goes. Um, and we got a little cutscene here. We're gonna let this play out because there's some of the greatest dialogue of all time about to come up here. So we'll see how that goes.
You are weary from your travels, but mesmerized at the sight of Baldur's Gate. Not only a town of myth and legend, but also a place where one can find fame and fortune round every corner. It is night as you enter the city, and it seems strangely deserted. But you soon discover that the night holds danger as well. And in an instant, that danger is upon you.
Easy pickings. Hey, Card.
Indeed. Let's see what our little ambush has won us.
Halt! Who goes there?
It's the watch.
Let's get out of here!
Yes, but take the gold. Leave the rest for the watch.
Damnable thieves. They grow bolder with each passing day.
Still some life in this one. Looks like all they did was make off with some possessions.
Easy, easy there. That's quite a blow you took.
Those thieves that attacked made off with your possessions. But at least you're alive.
They're becoming more bold with each passing day.
You'd best stay off the streets after the sun sets. It's not safe out here.
You could seek shelter in the Elfsong Tavern. It's close enough.
Aye, more than enough cutthroats there. Could be one of them would even know how to find those that attacked you.
Drawn by a haunting voice, you come to the Elfsong Tavern. It is a small place, filled with a motley assortment of patrons and grisly trophies. There, the haunting voice is all around you, and the patrons are silent as the song washes over them. One by one, they all seemed lost in its call.
Beautiful song, isn't it? I've heard her sing 100 times, and each time it still moves me.
So, yeah, I love that opening. Like, first of all, I love the fact that when the thieves come up, knock me unconscious, and then Karn comes from around the corner. I just love the fact that the guards are just there and they've like watched the whole thing, and they patiently wait for, you know, for them to deliver their dialogue. And then you have the other guard who is really fixated on how bold the thieves are becoming. It's like he's just, you know, obsessed and keeps repeating it, and oh man, it's great. I love this game. Like I genuinely love this game. And I was really happy to see that it got this. It's not really an HD remake. It's still based very much off of the original, like 2002, 2003 character models and everything.
Her spirit was here when I first bought this.
I saw a review where they said that some of the voices were re-recorded, but I haven't noticed any of them yet. So we'll sort of see how that goes, or if there's any that do stand out. There is one that I suspect might be different, based off of the. It'll be like the leader of the Thieves Guild. I'm not going to spoil it if you haven't actually played this game yet, but the leader of the Thieves Guild had a very distinct voice, so it's possible that maybe his role was recast, but we'll see when we get there.
Beholder. A small version of the species, I'm told, but not that I've seen many of them. One of my regulars, Ethon, found it in the cellar. They're also called eye tyrants, if that name's any more familiar to you. Beholders are beasts that float above the ground and can cast terrible spells from their eyes. Evil things. I wouldn't want to meet one, and neither would you. Sounds like members of that new Thieves Guild I've been hearing about. You're lucky to be alive. Word is they're responsible for the murder of 2 city watchmen and the disappearance of several thieves from the old guild.
So yeah, I mean, this game like originally came out like 17 years ago. There are some changes that we've seen in the video game industry and the way that certain characters are depicted.
No one knows where their all is.
I feel like the Xbox, GameCube, PlayStation 2 era was kind of like the height of the jiggle physics, and then it sort of tapered off. And I guess it's not necessarily non-existent these days, but you don't really. It's not as prominent, I guess.
Sewer rats up to the surface.
Also seems like the top layer of clothing isn't quite rendering properly. You can see some polygons clipping through.
To the sewers in the cellar of this tavern. I locked it up a long time ago, before the Guild War began.
Guild Wars? No, that's a different game.
There's a problem with that. Actually, maybe we can help each other out.
Well, I am the main character, so of course.
We had to lock up the cellar because of the horde of rats that suddenly showed up down there. Clear them out for me, and I'll give you the key to the sewer gate. And a little gold to help you get back on your feet. What do you say? The door to the cellar is locked, so you'll need to get the key from Ethon over in the corner there. Luck be with you. And watch those rats. Some of them can be vicious when backed in a corner.
Alright, so not only is our first quest taking place inside of a tavern, but it also involves going into the basement and killing rats. This game is like it's just beautiful.
I saw you come in. Nasty bump on the head.
And there's the beholder. I do kind of wish that they would have adjusted the beholder's well, not sprite, but its model a little bit. Because it does kind of blend in with the fireplace right behind it, like it's almost the exact same coloration. It does seem to stand out a little bit better, though, than the original, like, PS2, GameCube, and I think it was on the Xbox as well. I have the GameCube version of Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, and I also hear... I was reading one of the dialogues. I also have Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance on the Game Boy Advance. But unfortunately, I no longer have a way of playing the Game Boy Advance. Which is unfortunate, because I'd really like to try playing the Baldur's Gate game on that. I don't know what you're talking about.
I overheard your conversation with Aelith. Look, friend. You've met them once and escaped with your life. Don't test your luck twice.
Well, I only have this one dialogue option, so I guess
Well,
we're stuck with it.
If the thieves won't keep you from going down there, maybe the rats will.
They won't.
All right, then. I won't say I didn't warn you. Here's the key to the cellar door. Don't be too long, or else I'll have to come down and get you. Oh, and before you go, take this dagger. It's not much, but it might do you some good.
All right. So we got the dagger, we got our rusty dagger, we've got our cellar door key, and there's a few other patrons here as well. Also, here in the corner, these like little podiums with books on them, they are our save points. So we're just going to make a save file now, and it will automatically place the newest one on top. So that way, I'm not going to accidentally save over the game file that I was playing, just for fun. So let's go ahead and talk to some of the people here. Let's talk to this guy first.
Monkeys.
Okay. Yeah, so that guy has absolutely nothing to do with anything in the game. He's just a drunk that loves... They just give him some funny dialogue. We'll probably talk to him a couple more times. But we also have, speaking of drunks, we also have this guy here.
What do you want? I got no coin to spare, so don't think your begging will make me part with a single copper.
Yeah, not a beggar, dude. I'm the protagonist of this video
There's
game.
always been thieves in Baldur's Gate. This latest batch may be a bit more bloodthirsty than most, but they haven't crossed me yet. Still, I'd rather be able to part with my coins at the bar than keep them in my purse.
So, I guess you have a quest for me then?
Bartender Aelith cut me off 2 nights ago. And with the cellars locked, I can't slip down below to get a spare bottle to tide me over. But maybe you could. Yeah, if you could find some way to get that cellar door key from old Ethon, then head down to the cellars to get me a bottle, I'd make it worth your while.
Will you now? Well, it just so happens that I already have the key. Alright, and we're going to talk to this guy a little bit later because right now we have 0 coin. But he's our shopkeeper, and he will have a lot to say. Oops, and I pressed the wrong button. Alright, so Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance from Black Isle Studios. This is an action RPG kind of in like the Diablo-ish style. So during this era, anything that was like a home console Dungeons & Dragons related game, they were all kind of like these more action-oriented ones. Like, so you had Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, you had D&D Heroes for the original Xbox, and you had things like Demon's Stone, which came a little bit later on, and of course, obviously Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance too, but they were always like these sort of quasi-isometric action RPGs. So they, like, I guess when I hear people complain about the fact that, like, the newest Dark Alliance game doesn't follow the D&D rule set very closely, and then they also speak fondly of this game, like, this one is about as far from the actual D&D rule set as you could possibly get. And it's funny, because if you go on to the actual, in my case, like the Microsoft shop page, like the store page for it, one of the things that it mentions is that it uses the D&D 3rd edition rules, which it like just absolutely does not at all. Like, not even the only thing that's really in line with the 3rd edition D&D rule set would have to be the fact that you have a dwarf fighter. Like, that's really it. Because, for example, in 3rd edition D&D, you had, like, it introduced the sorcerer class as one of the, like, the primary core rulebook classes, and that's what we have with the elven character. And then we have this guy, who is a human arcane archer. Now, in 3rd edition D&D and 3.5 D&D, you cannot have a human arcane archer. They actually have to be either elven or half-elven. It's sort of back when they were like prestige classes, so they were classes that you had to sort of build your character towards. And they would have, several of them would actually have like racial prerequisites. So like the Dwarven Defender obviously would have to be a dwarf, and the Arcane Archer had to be an elf. It was just one of the elven things. It was something that, you know, the fact that elves are supposed to be more in tune with magic and just have more like innate magical abilities, and also being like, you know, well known for being archers and magicians and stuff like that. It was just like, it was to capitalize sort of on those tropes, I guess you could say. But yeah, so humans weren't allowed to be arcane archers, so it's always kind of funny that when they made this game, you had the sorcerer class represented, and typically elves would usually be either like warriors or wizards. Like, wizard was their favorite class. And humans tended more towards sorcerer, which wasn't like the studied version. Oh, I do have another weapon I should have actually equipped there. We'll also equip those arrows, because eventually my archer will get a bow. But, yeah, so you had like the human, which, like, humans would be more likely to be sorcerers than elves, and only elves could be arcane archers, and they got that backwards for this game. So, I mean, I don't know if they just, like, weren't really paying close attention to the classes or the prestige classes in the game. It's definitely possible, but I always thought that was kind of funny. And then you have, like, obviously the dwarf fighter is pretty stereotypical, and like that's, you know, an easy one for you to say, oh yeah, that's 3rd edition. But there's other things in the way that this game is done that is also definitely not based on the role-playing game, such as the fact that you have, if you look on the top left-hand corner there, you've got this red bar, which is represents my health. There's the green bar, which you see sort of slowly filling up over time, and that represents experience. And then the green bar represents mana. So you have mana points in this game instead of spell slots. So again, you know, for something that advertised itself as being based on the 3rd edition D&D rules, it is definitely not. But, you know, again, it doesn't bother me. Like that, like I said, I didn't enjoy that criticism of the new Dark Alliance game, because like the console D&D games for almost 20 years have not been based off of like a direct copy of the rules. So, like I said, that never really bothered me, but again, I just wanted to sort of explain that it's definitely not a new phenomenon. Oh. Taking a little bit of damage here. So your health will actually slowly regenerate over time. I don't know how many... I got some potions. I think it's left trigger? Nope. Left bumper? Right bumper? Right bumper. Okay. I'm still learning the new controls here. Oh, there we go. So yeah, so like I said, I have this game originally on the Nintendo GameCube, and I still have my GameCube copy. I love playing it on the GameCube, but I first played this actually on the PlayStation 2 when a friend of mine actually rented. I want to say he rented the console and the game. I don't know if they owned a PlayStation at the time. Or maybe it was his younger brother's, because he did eventually get an Xbox, like just a regular Xbox. But, yeah, I played this, and like I said, I love this game from the very beginning. So there we go, we slayed the rats. We slayed the rats in the cellar. Oops. Alright, so let's equip that shield for now. So one of the things that we could do, we picked up these black potions here called Potions of Recall. And what they'll do is they'll basically take you back to whatever, like, the safe haven is. Each act has a different one. And the second and third act, you actually have to reach the safe haven first before you can actually use a Potion of Recall to get there. But for the first act, obviously, we started in the tavern, so we can go back there at any time. So I could go back right now, but I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to press forward a little bit. And yeah, and just reminisce about some of the good times I had with Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance. Come on now. What is... Okay, right trigger is the block. I do hope that the second Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance game also gets sort of a remake as well. Or maybe, again, I say remake. This is definitely not really a remake, since it still uses the original character models and everything. But I do hope they do a higher, like, I guess an HD up-res. Because the game does look a lot cleaner and crisper, obviously, than it did back, 18 years ago on a CRT television. But yeah, I'd love to see the second one as well. Like, the second one's interesting because it's a fun game. Like, it's definitely a fun game. They do more work with the characters. Like, they actually give the characters, all except for one, they give an interesting backstory to, where you can sort of interact with someone, and eventually they can give you a quest that gives you some new abilities you unlock. And the character that they don't do that for was the Barbarian, and the Barbarian was so just overpowered and broken that he didn't need the ability to, like, interact with someone and trade gold for XPs or anything like that. Just good times. But the second one was also a lot cornier as well. There's some corny moments that we're going to see in this game. We saw one at the opening with the guard who's really obsessed with the boldness of the Thieves Guild. But you haven't seen anything yet. If we can get that second one updated, you'll definitely see some good quality cheese. Alright. We'll take care of this guy. And then this guy. Alright. So, another thing that's worth noting when it comes to this game and how accurately it does not depict the tabletop D&D rules, we're about to get into the leveling. I just gotta take care of a little business here first. There we go. Yeah, so the leveling system, again, is very different than, like, traditional D&D. So, what we actually have here are points that you can spend on various abilities. You can spend them if you wish, or you can wait and save and build them up. And essentially you gain a number of points equal to the level that you were prior to the one that you just gained. Right, so we just gained second level, we left first level, and we get 1 point. When we reach third level, we're going to get 2 points that we will earn as well. So I think I'm actually going to save them up for now, because there's no real incentive for me to spend anything right now, because I want to be able to get some stuff for, like, my arrows but I still don't have that bow. So we're going to hold off just for a minute. And let's actually... Whoops. Let's actually recall. Alright. Hello, Aelith.
You're back. Did you see Ethon down there?
No, I didn't, but the rats destroyed all of your barrels and vases. It was terrible.
He followed you down there not long ago, and I fear he may have gotten lost in the cellar. Or worse, he may have wandered into the sewers. I tried to stop him.
I mean, he definitely didn't get lost in the cellar, because that cellar is pretty dang linear.
Thank you. But before you go, please take these coins in payment for all you've done so far. And
2003,
as promised,
folks.
here's the key to the sewer gate. Be careful down there. There are bound to be worse things than sewer rats in those tunnels.
Alright, so we got that. We also got the bottle of alcohol for
Managed
Nebish.
to find me a bottle of Aelith's best yet?
God, his eyes are just terrifying.
Hi, it'll do me well enough. Thank you, friend. Here, have a bottle from me. No idea what the thing does, but it smells awful and it doesn't seem to have the kick I was looking for.
Oh, good. Thanks for giving me your leftovers. So we did all that for one potion. But it is one of the better potions, which we'll definitely try not to use right away. Alright, so let's finally go ahead and talk to Bartley, the shopkeeper.
Welcome, friend. If you're looking for a good blade or a sturdy shirt of chainmail, you've come to the right place. Our stock may
Have I?
be a bit low at the moment with the recent demand for weapons and armor, but a new shipment should be coming in soon. Well,
Yeah, what's
I
caused
know
this
the cause,
demand?
friend, but the word is there's been some trouble between the thieves' guilds of late. No matter to me if the two groups kill each other. Never had much use for thieves myself. Now, what can I do for you?
Well, let's see what you have at your ridiculously overinflated prices. Let's go to sell first. God damn it. I was gonna save. God, that sucks. I accidentally hit the A button twice, and it sold that frickin' potion. Oh well, I said I wasn't going to use it right away, and I meant that because obviously what I ended up doing was accidentally selling it. So, yay me. Obviously nothing but the top, the highest tier of gaming. Oh, that sucks. And I can't even buy it back. There's not even a buyback option. So these were like older games when you know if the button's sensitive and registers are pressed twice, then you're kind of screwed. So here's another huge difference from actual like tabletop pen and paper Dungeons and Dragons games. Armor is actually broken up into several pieces. So you have like the body, the boots, the gloves, and the helmet. And the prices are insane. Like they are, if you went to a town in a tabletop session, and I'm still pissed about that potion, but you went into a town and the DM says, yeah, you can get a suit of padded armor. It's just, you know, just the breast, you know, just the chest piece alone is gonna cost you 400 gold. You would probably not want to play with that DM anymore. So like the prices are absolutely ridiculous here. Which sucks because yeah, it's like 9,000 gold to get this Frostbrand. I'm never gonna get that far, at least not in this first act. Now there is, I will admit, there is an exploit that you can do in this game where you can duplicate things, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna buy this crappy short bow. No, you know what? I'm not going to buy the short bow. Because it's just costs so much. I'm going to hold off. But I will show you the exploit just to make up for the fact that I stupidly lost that potion by hitting the A button a little too vigorously. And immediately sold the thing that I didn't want to sell. So I'm going to go over to my save game here. I'm going to save. And I'm not going to abuse this. I promise. I used to back in the day just to like get good stuff. But so after you save, what you do is you go into your inventory and you find some stuff to drop. So I'm just going to drop. I'm just going to drop these potions. So we got all those potions on the ground. And then what you do is you go into change players, and then you can press Y to import, and you can actually import the character that you had from the save that you just did. And basically it'll bring them back. Now, this time it didn't seem to keep all the potions on the ground. But that's fine. Like I said, I don't want to abuse the system. But normally it'll keep a lot of what you drop on the ground there. It works better. I had a little ruby. It works better with something like that than like the potions, which for some reason they do like to despawn when you reload the character. But yeah, so that's something that you can do there. All right. So I think what I actually want to do with this game, aside from potions, I want to try in this playthrough to actually see how well of a job the game does at providing you with useful weapons, armor, stuff like that. So I don't want to buy any weapons or armor, and I want to see how far I can get before that starts to become a real problem. Because it's just one of those things that, you know, I always find interesting about these games is how well of a job they do. Always has to be gosh dang spiders, doesn't there? How good of a job it does actually just giving you the treasure that you need for your character to be able to stand up to what they're, you know, expected to go up against. So. Alright, so we do have more leather boots. How much weight can I still carry? I can still carry quite a bit. I'll pick up the arrows. I'm going to leave the boots because honestly I really don't need them. And I don't think they sell for much. 67. I might actually pick them up. And of course, with games like this, you have to, by law, smash every barrel and every vase that you come across, because people like to put their coins, people like to put their potions, people like to put their quivers of arrows inside of these things. And we're the heroes, so we're going to need them. Alright, so there is a bow and some of those rubies. Rubies. Okay. Okay, there we go. So you can, with the left and right on the directional pad, you can swap your weapons. So you can have one ranged, one melee weapon equipped at any time, and then up and down we'll do our abilities, but we don't have any of those yet. Alright, into the sewers.
What's this you've caught? A sewer rat? Don't hurt him. Lord Xantum will wish to speak to him, and he'll need to be in the best of health. Ah, excellent. I was expecting you. Did you receive the package from Lord Xantum?
I did. And I have it with me.
And you know where it is bound?
He told me to take it to the crypts and place it within the Chamber of Ashes there.
Excellent. The entrance you seek lies on the level below past the sewer grates. Let no one see you enter the temple, and do exactly as you have been instructed. Now be on your way. I will return for the prisoner later. Guard him well. Alright. Once again, I love the Xbox Series X loading times.
because it is super quick. Alright, so yeah, so there we saw the Bugbear Chieftain, as well as, once again, we saw Karn, so he's still kicking around, and we saw this other thief with the strange spherical object just wrapped up in cloth, so I wonder what that could possibly be, and if it will play into the game later on. Spoiler alert, it definitely does. Another cool thing, actually, and something that makes me miss the magazines, like Dungeon Magazine, Dragon Magazine, back in the day, is around the time that this game came out. Come on. Around the time that this game came out, Dragon Magazine, I forget what the issue number was, off the top of my head, but holy crap! Okay. I forget what the issue number was off the top of my head, but when I upload this video on YouTube, I will try to remember to find out what the issue was, and then put it in the description, or put it as like a pinned comment or something. But they actually had an issue that had stats for all of the major villains in the game that you could play in your 3rd edition D&D game. So I thought it might be kind of cool to take this game and actually turn it into a Dungeons and Dragons 3rd edition, a 3rd edition like D&D campaign. It was something I always wanted to come back here and just there. It's something that I kind of always wanted to do, and having like the stat blocks would make it super easy to do so. I don't know. I think I thought it'd be kind of fun, especially like now that it's been so many years since the game came out, that like not everyone would have would know what it was, right? Or have access to the magazine so they could just look at the creature stats themselves. Alright, so yeah, so we are in the sewers now. This is my least favorite section of the game by far. Yeah, this part of the game really does kind of suck, and it's not so much this section, although that was kind of brutal with the kobolds throwing spears. Yeah, there's I think like the second level has the most annoying, frustrating monsters, and we'll get there. You know, don't you worry, we're gonna get there. So, like I said, I'm not looking to buy equipment. Like, I'm not looking to buy weapons or armor, amulets or rings, but I will absolutely take advantage of being able to buy potions. I mean, the game does a decent job of providing you potions as well, and there is a natural healing mechanic where if you just, you know, hang out for a little bit and just sort of wait for a while, like you can sort of slowly see the red bar on the top of the screen start to refill. Well, I take a drink of tea, but like that's boring, and like the game sort of intends for you to just wait. But I don't want to do that because, like I said, that's boring for something where I'm expecting people to, or expecting is not the right word. That sounds a little entitled. But putting this out there for people to watch if they're interested, and I think the last thing they'd want to see is me just waiting several minutes to get my health back. So buying potions is definitely on the table. But the game does, like I said, it does do a decent job of providing you with stuff as well. But yeah, I will definitely be buying potions here and there. And I pressed the wrong thing. Like I said, I'm still getting used to the controls. I meant to pull the trigger for the shield, and I accidentally drank a potion. But that's fine. That's fine. So, the one thing so far is, you know, I found an okay weapon, which is still like a rusty weapon, and a worn-out short bow. And again, the tabletop role-playing game doesn't have like these crappy quality weapons. I could do the staff, but then I lose my shield. So, like, the role-playing game doesn't have rusty weapons or worn weapons that do less damage. They have masterwork weapons that are slightly better in terms of, like, accuracy and things like that, but they don't have stuff like that. But I haven't found... The only thing I've found so far are boots and shields. So I feel a little vulnerable to attacks because I just don't have any armor. And the armor sort of... I think in this game it kind of acts like a damage reduction. I don't think it actually... like stops attacks from hitting you. It just mitigates how much damage you take. Nice. Alright, draw these guys. The reason I'm doing this a little bit cautiously is because I know that there is a bugbear up here as well. So I kind of want to draw just the kobolds first. Come on now. Cooperate with me. Yeah, I just want to draw the kobolds first because there's the bugbear. And he moves fast. Oof. Nope, I wanted to block. Yeah, so you can see how much damage I'm taking just from that. Although, yeah, he went down pretty quickly. That's not too bad. Alright, so there we got finally some padded gloves. They're not great, but they'll do. Now this part over here sucks, because that is just a line, a huge line, that stretches across the entire length of that room of kobolds with spears. And actually, so, when I was trying to determine, not if I was going to buy this game, because I knew I was going to buy it. Holy crap. See, they do a ton of damage. And again, like, you know, I could go and just buy some armor, because it is available to me. And it's not like the game doesn't expect me to actually purchase anything. But, again, I still want to see just kind of what I can get away with, or what the game will just provide you. Because I find a lot of times, like, as soon as I buy something, then shortly thereafter, it's like, oh, there's just a free one that you get from someone. Oh boy. Yeah, like I said, they hurt. Like, and I want to say that there's really no other part of the game where they throw like these many enemies at you, all at the same time. Like, it's crazy. So, generally speaking, after I clear this section, it's a good time to head back and purchase some potions, which is what we're probably gonna do. Alright. So we almost got him. Almost got him. At this point, I think I'm just going to go in with the shield. There's only 2 left. But yeah, I mean, for a second level character, for a solo second level character to face 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 14 kobolds with an infinite number of spears to throw. That's just the DM that hates his players. And like I said, like the rest of the game, like there are, you know, groupings of enemies that you come across for sure, but it never feels like as stacked as the early game does for some reason. How many potions do I have left? Okay, actually we're still doing pretty good. So let's hold off on going back for now if we can. Here's something I always love in these types of games, which is platforming. Okay, more boots. Although I think those are actually like good quality leather boots instead of the worn ones, so they give me a whole 2 to my armor class. Or armor. I don't know if they call it armor class or not. What do they call it? Armor, yeah. It gives me 2 to my armor instead of 1, so it's better. So I'm still kind of using the crappy rusty sword. I don't think I picked anything better up, did I? I mean, just the regular dagger does just as much. It's crazy. But the short bow, oh, I got a better short bow. So the worn one, the maximum damage I could do with the worn short bow is equal to the minimum damage you can do with the regular short bow. So, again, I'm not... I do love this game. I do enjoy it. You know, whoops, I didn't mean to press that. It is nostalgic for me, but the whole, like, worn or lesser quality items, again, something that's not part of the tabletop role-playing game, I do kind of not like that. Because why not just give you, just like, you know, if you play the tabletop RPG... Uh-oh. Ooh, boy. Okay. If you play the tabletop RPG, like, you just get, like, a longsword or short sword. You know, you don't start with the rusty one that does, like, half the damage, or anything like that. You just get the weapon and... Alright. I don't know. It's definitely a minor gripe. How much does those clubs do? 2 to 3, yeah. No. Now, I will say, there are some times when I'm playing this game that I will take weapons that do less potential damage because their minimum and maximum damage range is much closer. So you're guaranteed to do an okay amount of damage instead of having the potential to do, you know, one hit in every, you know, 10, 15. That does it in a decent amount of damage. Speaking of which, actually, can I... Damage text. Yeah, let's put the damage text on so we can actually see how much damage we're doing. That sounds like fun, right? To see how low the numbers start off with and how ridiculously high that they get later on. So again, we're still finding just boots and a single pair of gloves. And I will state for the record that my commitment to the not buying equipment isn't set in stone. And I will also freely admit that on my... just the playthrough I'm doing just myself, just for fun, not on stream or anything, I did absolutely do the duplication glitch and get to the point where I had the best equipment I could possibly get at this point in the game. But I'm not going to do that here. I'm not going to take the easy road. And here's these guys again. Oh, right. So these guys throwing the spears here. Okay, hold on. Just bear with me. It actually reminds me something I started to say and then got completely sidelined by. So yeah, when I was looking to actually to pick this up, I wanted to watch a couple reviews and just see what people had to say about it. I wasn't like, I don't really plan on doing video game reviews on my YouTube channel or anything like that. So if it's something I plan on personally reviewing, I won't watch other people's stuff because I always want to like even if I do repeat somebody else's point, I want it to be something that I genuinely thought of, like came up with or felt myself, and not just sort of mirrored something else that someone else said, right? Like I don't want other people's opinions to sway mine. A bunch of dead kobolds here. Interesting. Right. So anyway, I was watching this review, and the person that was reviewing it, like he loved this game back in the day, but I don't think he's like an actual like tabletop RPG player, which is fine, right? Like you are under no obligation to have to play the tabletop game in order to be a fan of this game. Like you under absolutely no obligation. And anyone that tells you that you do have to, don't listen to them, because there's no qualifications. There's no like entry exam that you have to pass in order to. That was a big rat. In order to be a fan of anything, right? Like if you just get into D&D 5th edition and you love that, and that's as far as you want to go with tabletop RPGs, that doesn't make you less of a tabletop role player, right, than someone who's played every edition and a dozen other, RPG systems on top of it. Like there's no entry requirements, right? So he was definitely not a D&D like tabletop RPG gamer. And if he was, he wasn't into it enough or versed in it enough that he sort of knew what some of these creatures were. So it was kind of funny listening to him, because he kept mentioning, like he talked about some of the monsters that you fight, like bugbears, rats, spiders. It's like, okay, well, yeah, those are all things that you come across. Oh boy. But then he kept mentioning like fighting monkeys, and I was like, monkeys? Where the hell do you fight monkeys in the game, right? Like, you fight some undead, you fight some gnolls, but they don't look like monkeys, right? I was trying to figure it out, and then it struck me. He was referring to. I'm actually going to recall here. He was actually referring to the kobolds that were throwing the spears, because he'd mentioned like monkeys throwing spears at you, and it's like, oh. And I mean, again, he doesn't play the tabletop, right? So he wouldn't know. It's just kind of funny, like because the game never says what they are. Like it never tells you that, oh, by the way, those are kobolds, not they're this, not that sort of thing. So yeah, anyway, kind of neat. Actually doing pretty decent for potions, but the reason I want to buy some here is because the potions that you can buy are better quality. I could also technically buy the Ring of Protection, but I'm not going to. I'm going to see if I can find something like that. So let's just pick up a few of those.
Brought here all the way from the Sunset Mountains.
Okay, I don't need these padded gloves.
We have everything.
Alright, excellent. And we're just going to pop into our equipment section here. We're going to put on this regular shield, not the worn shield. So I still haven't found like a suit of actual armor yet, which makes me a little bit worried, because we're about to hit one of the bosses. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save, and if I die, then I might look at picking up a suit of armor. Like this whole thing is just like testing the game. It doesn't necessarily mean that this is the way that they meant for you to play it. So here we go, the first boss of the game, the Bugbear Chieftain, and a whole bunch of kobolds. All right. Okay, I gotta get out of there. I was just swarmed. So another thing that is really important to note about this game is that the potions don't take effect immediately. Oh, that was a fortuitous level up. And he's stuck. He is stuck over there, so I'm just gonna see how cheap I can do this now. I can't. Oh. Come on, there we go. Oh man, do I really cheese it this bad? No, I can't finish the fight like that. Let's let him out. So yeah, the potions don't actually heal immediately. When you select a potion, you'll see, like, it'll light up on the meter how much it will heal you up to or restore you up to. All right, but then the actual, like, your actual, like, health, for example, in this situation, it will actually then start to fill up. So if you drink a potion when your health is almost gone, like almost zero, even though you drank like an extra healing potion or something that's really supposed to, you know, regenerate a lot of hit points, you are still vulnerable up until it finishes restoring those hit points. And there's been plenty of times where I've died playing, like, in a fight where I, you know, hit the potion button and it showed that it was going to fill me all the way back up to full, but I had very little health left and I took a hit before the health, like, started going up enough, and I died. So health management is kind of important in this game. So what I would really highly recommend is, like, don't let your health get below 3/4 before you use a potion, because you can still take damage and you can still die even if you're, like, expected to heal up. Hi, Ethon. I'll come back to you in a minute. I got some more stuff here, so I can take flame arrows, ice arrows, shock arrows. I'm actually going to wait for hail of arrows, I think. So I'm still not going to take anything quite yet. The arcane archer, I mean, I love playing archers and everything, but the arcane archer, like, there are a lot of times, especially in the early game, where the bow is just really not the best option.
Thank the gods you're here. Any longer and I'd be sitting in some kobold's belly.
Oh, hey, I was wrong. They do actually call them kobolds.
Well, after I gave you the cellar door key, I felt guilty about letting you head down here without help, so I followed you down. No sooner do I get down here than I'm surrounded by those yapping kobold devils, and they haul me to this cell and lock me in.
Well, at least
There's an entrance
you're
to
alive.
the sewers from the street, and I used that. I knew about it from my days when I was in the guild. The old guild, not the new one.
Oh, so you were a thief before being a thief was cool.
Retired. That life's behind me. Still, I've kept a bit of what I've learned, and it might help you now.
Will
I
it?
managed to pick this key off the chieftain you killed. I think it unlocks a gate deeper in the sewers. If you're still aiming to catch those thieves that robbed you, then you'll need it. While I was locked up here, I overheard some of the thieves from this new guild planning a mission. And that's what I heard. I don't know what that thief was carrying, but it can't have been good. If you want to stop whatever deviltry they've got planned, then you'll need to head deeper into the sewers and find that thief.
I do hate deviltry. So, I appreciate the gesture, right? Like, I'm saying, oh, you know, I used to be a thief, and that's going to benefit you because, you know, hey, you know the guy that you killed and looted? Well, I got this key off of him.
And I don't need to tell you to be careful.
You
I'll meet
wouldn't
up with you at the
have,
Ethon
right? I don't know.
Tavern
It's
later on. Come find me when you found that.
Like I said, there's definitely some sort of like cheesy moments
I'll try to
in
dig
this
up some of
game.
my old contacts and see if they can tell me anything about these
Basically,
thieves that killed
it's just a progression blocker, right? Like you have to rescue Ethon in order to move on to the next section of the game. Now, can I actually go into the sewers right away? Okay. And speaking of progression, and speaking of corny moments, I think we are about to see... Maybe? I don't know, we'll see. Get just another regular short bow. Although I like the way that one looks over that one, so we're going to go with that one now. But, okay, so we finally have a better melee weapon. So we got a short sword, which does 1 to 6 instead of 1 to 4. Not a huge increase, but it's still an increase, so we'll take it. And we got a recall back to the tavern. And we got a whole bunch of other people here to talk to, but first...
If you need something to split someone's skull, or a helm to protect your own, you come to the
Sell
right
those.
If quality and price are your chief concerns, then look no farther.
All
You'll
right.
find my shop has excellent weapons at reasonable prices.
And I'm still a little apprehensive about the lack of like body armor in the game so far, but we're gonna push on. All right. Hey, you look like an interesting fellow, Ipswich.
Well met, friend. It's good to see a new face in the elf song. Please, have a seat, share a drink. My name's Ipswich. And what brings you to Baldur's Gate?
Oh, I thought to seek my fortune here, but what little fortune I had was taken from me.
Ah, sad tale, friend. My heart goes out to you.
Yeah, it's the saddest.
Seems Baldur's Gate has not been treating its visitors well of late. I, too, am a stranger here.
Or, you know.
I came to pay my respects at the Shrine of Suffering, the local temple run by the priests of Ilmater. But I came to find the temple sealed, and no one answered my summons. I had a terrible feeling that something was wrong inside, but I did not know what.
You did not, did you?
My brother's bones lie within the crypts beneath the shrine. I'd hoped to pay my respects at his grave and take back with me his medallion that had been buried with him.
So you were looking to loot his body. You must be an adventurer such as myself.
It was always his intention that it be passed on through our family, and now that I have a little one of my own, I wish my child to have the medallion. But now I do not know what to do, so I sit here, drink, and wait for the shrine to awake.
Well, if I find a way to the shrine, I'll see if I can find your brother's tomb and steal stuff off it for you. And then we got this.
Please, leave me be. I want no trouble.
Well, I've had enough experiences in my life to let me know that I should probably listen to you, but here we go.
I'm waiting for someone, but I fear I wait in vain. My
Do you
man,
know?
Kissin, had just gone on an expedition into the north to a place called Battle of the Bones, where the dead still walk.
Uh-huh.
He has a talent for the shadowy arts, and he had been asked to recover an item, an orb for someone, then bring it here to Baldur's Gate. The amount of money he was being offered was more than either of us had ever seen.
Right, and nothing about that at all sounds the least bit suspicious.
When I spoke to him about the expedition, however, he was acting strangely, almost dazed, as if he'd been hypnotized or charmed. He was obsessed with finding this orb for his new employer. We had agreed
Go
to meet
on.
here in the Elf Song should anything happen. But it's been almost 3 nights now, and I have seen no sign of him. I fear for the worst.
You probably
fear that
should.
the orb he recovered may have done something horrible to him.
Yeah, orbs do that. Alright, we'll hit another save. Hey,
Thanks for
Ethon.
the rescue down in the sewers, friend. I feel like a right fool for not heeding my own advice and staying clear of that place. Here are a few coins as a way of thanks. An old trinket of mine from my younger days. It's not much, but it may be of use to you. Did you find that
Cool.
thief who was running around in the sewers?
Yeah, no, I was right behind you. Alright, so we got 100 gold, which is okay, but we got the Amulet of Dexterity. Amulets and rings, you find them in the same place as your potions. My dexterity is currently 15, so it gives me +2 to armor. However, the one thing that, does actually sort of match with, mostly with the tabletop role-playing game, is that their stats, like the bonuses that your stat will give, is generally right. Like, the only one that's not is charisma, because I think for charisma, for every 2 points you have above 10, it gives you like 5% buy and sell. But, so right now, dexterity at a 15 gives me a +2 bonus to armor class, but if I put on the amulet, it gives me 16 and a +3, so they did get that part right. So I guess if they're saying that it does follow the, 3rd edition D&D rules, at least that does. So I can't take that away from them.
Friend, I think the smell of the sewers has taken a liking to you.
Yes, thanks a lot. I really appreciate it, Bartley.
We have many fine deals.
I know, you've said every time I've been here. Nothing else to sell. Plenty of arrows. Again, I don't necessarily want to. So yeah, so we got the amulet dexterity +1, so I could have spent 1,700 gold on it, but I got one for free just by rescuing this guy, and I'm a bit of an idiot. I was at the wrong place. I don't go there yet. I think what I need to do is just go back up here where the Bugbear Chieftain was, and then we're going to enter the crappiest, no pun intended because we're in a sewer, but the crappiest part of the game. Like the whole game, this is the part of it that I just despise the most. Let's do another quick save here because why not? So now we're fighting multiple bugbears. Let's just go ahead and push this over here. And maybe bring one of these, or at least one of these, over here as well. And then what we're going to do... Oh, it's not going to work. Dang it. I was hoping that I was going to draw one, but I just timed it horribly. Okay, so there's 3 bugbears, so let's just limit how many of you I can fight all at once. More gloves, still no like body armor. It's really weird. Alright, bring it on. There we go. There's some padded armor. Excuse me. Hold on. Hold on. Be with you in one moment. There we go. That helps my armor a little bit. Come on. Okay, heal up. See, like I said, try not to let your health get below 3/4. Because then you are in serious danger of getting one-shotted. Yeah, so again, this is another one of those moments where, like, just wearing padded armor in the tabletop role-playing game is not going to give you a 23 armor class. So some of the numbers are definitely exaggerated. But that's fine, because it's still a fun game, and that's the important thing, right? Like, do you really want a hack-and-slash, dungeon crawly, role-playing game to be super beholden to the tabletop rules, or do you want to save that for a more, like, hardcore game like, like the computer games, like Baldur's Gate, Shadows of Om, or Baldur's Gate, Tales of the Sword Coast? Alright, so yeah, so you saw some of the things that we are going to be facing in the sewer. That was a gelatinous cube. And it's cool that they're in here. These are actually not the worst enemies. There is another ooze that we are going to come across shortly, I am sure of it. And they are the absolute worst. Okay, I know you got some coins in there. Oh, no, maybe not. So, how many recall potions do I actually have? Okay. I got plenty. So the recall potions, they do teleport you back. They don't actually leave your inventory until you recall, like, until you go back to the point where you first use a potion. So, like, if I recall from here back to the tavern, it'll still show that I have 6 in my inventory, but when I come back here, it'll say that I have 5. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. We'll test that out next time I go to do it. Alright, again, just a whole swarm of guys there. Alright, let's do it.
I'm carrying too much.
Uh-oh. And I don't know if I can recall when there's... Oh, boy. Alright. We need to... Okay. Nope. Okay. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Oh, boy. That was rough. Just got completely cornered. Got lured into the corner trap. Okay. Actually, maybe... What do we have here? Arcane Quiver. Now that costs 5. So that might actually be one of the first things that I get. Because what it does is it cuts the weight of your arrows in half. And right now, with 287 arrows, I should probably drop some of those. But that's 53 pounds. So let's drop some of those so I can pick up the Warhammer. And I can only carry 10 more pounds worth of stuff. So basically, I'm going to have to recall, so we can actually test that out here in a moment. Alright. Alright, so recall potions, we had 6, right? Unless I picked any up. Okay, so we got 6. And now I've got... Okay, so I added that backwards. It takes it out when you recall, and then, but if you go back... hit recall to go back, then it doesn't take another potion. So I had that partially right. To be fair, it's been a long time since I played this game.
Axes, bows, we have everything you need right here.
I'm sure you do. Here, buy these clothes. And that. Helmet. I don't have a helmet on yet. So we'll sell that. Oops. And then sell...
If you need
so Warhammer is a two-handed weapon.
or a helm to protect your own, you've come to the right place. If quality and price
So I'm gonna sell. Like, I want to keep the shield, but as you can see, you don't have an option. It's just a two-handed weapon. So we're gonna sell that.
Oh, friend, I think the smell of the sewers has taken a liking to you.
Yes, thank you for making me feel self-conscious about the fact that I'm trying to help a whole bunch of other people here. Alright, so yeah, so now if I go in, I should still have 5 recall potions. So, there we go. And what do we have here? A hand axe, eh? Does 1 to 6, the same as what I have now, but it weighs more. So, we're definitely not going to keep that. Short sword, again, it's the exact same weapon I'm currently using. I might hold off on picking up arrows again until I'm actually really using the bow. And so, to talk about... Oh, dagger. So to talk about, like, the sequel, Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2, and one of the things that it did do way better than this game is your ranged weapons in Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2, you don't actually need arrows or, like, you don't need ammunition. You can just use it, and it's one of those things where it just assumes that you have, you know, the ammo for it, and it cuts down on a ton of weight. Right, because again, I'm carrying, you know, 40 pounds worth of arrows, which could be used to carry other better stuff. There's the annoying things. Okay, so hold on, we're gonna save. So these things are the absolute worst. So I can block, and it doesn't matter, right? Like they still deal full damage. Even if you block them, they deal a ton of damage, and you usually don't fight them in this small a number. There is one point we're coming up on shortly where there's just like a dozen of them all in the same room, and this is why I hate the sewers. Like, these things alone are super annoying. So I don't know if the cheat codes still work in this or not. That's something I might want to just test out in my my home game, like my non-stream game. Because basically, like, I could play through the game on, like, you know, normal, hard mode or whatever, and generally be okay. Like, I'll die a few times, right? Like, that just happens. But the amount of times that I would die throughout the game is nowhere near as much as I would die in this second level of the sewers. So when I got to this point, I would either level skip over it, and just like say, you know what, I'm done, move on to something else, and just, you know, realize that, yeah, I'm going to lose some experience points. Oh, God. Or I would just turn invulnerability on until I got past this part of the game. Because these things are just so bloody annoying. Alright, so the part of the game that we're at right now is there is a series of 3 doors that I have to get past, like right in a row. And we're saving. So the switches, or the levers that I have to pull, god damn it, the levers that I have to pull in order to progress, they are, well, actually, maybe not. Hold on. I might not quite be at that point yet. But we're getting there. So we're coming upon a part of the sewers that just makes, like, 0 sense. Okay, come on. Get these guys. Ugh. God, that sounds really gross, the gelatinous cube. Yeah, so, like, they're not that bad, right? The gelatinous cubes aren't that bad. But those green oozes, they are awful. And I don't even know what they're supposed to be. I think that's the worst part. There's, like, different oozes and jellies and, you know, stuff like that, but I don't immediately recognize the green one. And again, I don't think, like, you know, gelatinous cubes just, like, vomit at you. Holy crap, that was pretty close to dying. So how many potions am I down to now? 33 of the regular ones, none of the... or lesser, I should say. Okay, here it is, yeah. So there's just 3 doors right in a row. And this is just like, this isn't like the thieves' lair or anything like that. This is just the sewers. Like, at what point would you have 3 doorways, back to back, like just this, like your standard, you know, 10-foot entrance sort of in between them, 3 in a row that require you to pull 3 different levers in 3, you know, far off, you know, locations. It's like the, you know, the police station in Resident Evil 2. Like, why would you ever construct you know, your standard doors in a police station where you need like a hexagonal, you know, um, talisman and, you know, 3 different gemstones and all that stuff. It's just not practical. This is not practical sewer design. Alright, so like I said, you know how you normally fight these green oozes in huge numbers. I'm just gonna mash the potion button and hope that it works. There we go. So there's another one. I might actually go back, recall back again, and pick up some better potions. Because the lesser ones are okay, but they're just not gonna do it. Not right now. Not against these things. I have to say, I'm actually kind of surprised I haven't died yet, though.
We have many fine deals. What are you looking for?
Alright. Just a bunch of these.
Brought here all the way from the Sunset Mountains.
What did I pick up that I... Alright, let's sell down to 20 of those.
Swords.
I definitely don't need that many rejuvenation potions right now. Since I'm not using any spells. Let's put that down to 10. Worn padded, or worn leather, worn padded. Both but the same. Weight, the same. Sell that.
If you need something to split someone's
And the
skull,
maces,
or a
again,
helm
none of
to
these
protect
are...
the rope,
They're all the same
you'll
damage.
come to the-
Like, those were... All those weapons all had the exact same damage range. I would love to find a longsword. Would be fantastic. So now we're coming on. I mean, I have to say, honestly, this sewer section isn't as bad as I remember it. It feels like it's a trap to lure me into saying, you know what, this isn't so bad. Maybe I was overreacting. You know, maybe it's one of those things where it's like, it's been so long that, and because I didn't like the section back in the day, you know, it's been so long that, like, just those negative feelings sort of fester. Right, and they become bigger than they're supposed to be. But this next room is brutal. And we're not at the room yet, we're still in the hallway. Alright. Maybe we're not quite at the room yet. I want to say it's the room with the actual lever. And this is not it. This room right here. Just look at how many of these things there are. I think we're just gonna try this approach. This is where the archer starts, you know, paying off here. Now, I also have this line right off the bat. Like this little targeting line. I don't know how well it's going to show up on stream. Okay, that's not so bad because of the... But how many arrows do I have left? Oh, okay. I used quite a few, but I still got a fair amount left. Now, I can't remember... I don't want to say that they've made any changes to the game, because I really don't know if they have. I just don't remember having that line available right off the bat, like the accuracy, or the targeting feat. Like, I want to say that that was something that I had to choose before, but I could be confusing that with Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2. And since the Arcane Archer is like the class that I played the least of the three in this game, I could definitely be remembering it wrong. Okay, so with the bow, it actually hasn't been that bad. Okay, so now I can say that maybe this level of the sewers isn't as bad as I remember it. I still use quite a few potions, though. And it might just be the fact that I'm more conscientious, I guess, or more aware of how quickly they can inflict massive amounts of damage on you, so I'm using the potions sooner than maybe I normally would. But we actually cleared all of those. Actually cleared all three of those doors now. So now we can make our way to the crypt. So I think what we're going to do is I'm going to start the crypt. Oh, we got a cutscene here. Actually, I want to pay attention to this because this is where I think a voice may have been changed, if any of them had to be.
Have you done as I asked, Khan?
Yes, my Lord Xantum. I sent one of my best men to the crypts in the temple, as you instructed.
The orb must be placed within the Chamber of Ashes within the crypts. If your man fails to do this, then both of you shall answer for it.
Yes, my lord. He knows your wishes, and he will not fail you.
Very well. Bring me the prisoner you found in the sewers. I will question him now.
My lord, I sent for the prisoner some time ago, but I have received no word from the bugbears in the sewers.
Send your men into the sewers. Find out what has happened to our soldiers and bring me the prisoner. Do not fail me in this, Khan.
Yes, my lord. Should I recall the man I sent to the temple?
No. If he places the orb as instructed, he will not be coming back. Tell your men to avoid the temple grounds. To enter it now is certain death.
Alright, whoa, okay. Whoops. Yeah, I wasn't expecting the loading times to be that fast.
Stay down. Do that.
I mean, just go down in general would be great. Alright, yeah, so that voice sounded pretty much the same. So I think when I watched the video and they said that some of the voices were redone, I really don't hear it. So if they were, then they did a good job. Because I want to say, do I have a bludgeoning weapon? Because that might actually help me out here. Alright, light mace it is. Against the skeletons. Because I do think that the skeletons and zombies have their actual resistances. And again, I could be entirely wrong, because that's definitely not without precedent.
Stay down.
It does feel like the skeletons are dying a little easier, though. Ooh, some boots.
Stay down.
Let's see what those were. Yeah, so I think the voice of the person that we heard that was off camera. Just worn leather. Oh yeah, not even as good as what I have. I want to say, and hopefully people might remember this, but it sounds like the voice of Shere Khan from the Jungle Book.
What are you doing here? Run now,
Or like
before it
from
changes you.
Tailspin as well. Alright, whoa, settle down. What's going on here?
I am Fayed, a priest of Ilmater. I attend the crypts and perform burial rites here at the Shrine of Suffering. Now I fear that I shall be the next one to be changed. Into the Walking Dead. Haven't you seen them? They're everywhere.
No, I stopped watching that after, what, season
Brothers
6?
and sisters of the temple, all dead. I was taking an urn of ashes to one of the crypts when I discovered a strange set of tracks leading downwards. When I followed them, I found that thing, that foul orb, and the dead arose around me. Vile skeletons, zombies, unholy ground. I acted quickly, sealing this level off from the level below, then barricaded myself in this room. I had hoped sealing off this level would prevent the dead from reaching here. I was wrong.
Well, good job. How did
We
you seal
priests
the level?
of Ilmater set up some non-lethal traps here in the crypts to capture grave robbers. The trap that sealed off the exits is triggered by 3 urns on this level. When these urns are taken from their pedestals, stone blocks seal off all the exits from this level. I knocked all the urns from their pedestals and then barricaded myself in here. But I was not fast enough. Some of the dead had already entered this level, and the power of that thing below seems to be able to reach even here. Fortunately, I am able to hide myself from the eyes of these undead creatures, for the time being. I can only hope that the
you have
gates
invisibility
and
on
wards will
dead, do you?
prevent the dead from reaching the level above.
Is that even a spell anymore? I wonder. I never actually looked for it.
They're coming from below, from that thing in the Chamber of Ashes. It's an orb. I only caught a glimpse of it, what it was doing to my fellow priests. The orb calls to their spirits, then kills them, slowly letting them die, then raising them again so they may suffer in undeath as well. It hates all of us priests. Even now, I can hear it calling, trying to draw me to it so it can kill me, then raise me from the dead to perform its will.
Boy, okay. Yeah, I know exactly where the orb came from, so I'm not even going to ask that. I'll take care of the orb fad, take the secret door to the sewers, and get back to the streets, and tell the guards priest what happened.
My place is here. I should help you, not run from this. If I can help you, I will.
Okay, so yeah, so this guy can basically, we can go back to him and he can heal us.
Let the power of Ilmater comfort you, and restore your strength.
So if you're low and you don't want to use potions, you can run back to him, and he will fully heal you. I can't remember if it heals your mana as well. Let's see, do we get anything else interesting? That amulet's just a normal run-of-the-mill amulet. So we'll save again. Now, one thing I do think is interesting in this game is the fact that they actually went with Ilmater. I could use some of that invisibility on dead here, Fade. Is that they actually went with Ilmater as like the only temple or faith that they show in this game. Now it's set in the Forgotten Realms, right? Like obviously Baldur's Gate is Forgotten Realms. So it's not like, you know, Ilmater is completely unknown or like completely obscure, but it's not one of the first ones you would think of. Like, I would think of Lathander or Ilmater. Not Ilmater, my god. I gotta pay attention to what I'm doing here. I would think of like Helm or Lathander is the one I meant to say. Or the version of the sun god that I prefer, personally, a Monitor. I prefer that over Lathander, mainly because of the artwork in the Faiths and Pantheons book for 3rd edition. The one of Ilmater just seemed kind of weird and creepy. Like, just holding this baby up, I don't know, didn't seem right. Now you can see, I don't know if we see them here quite yet, but there are footprints. You can see them on the other side there, very faintly. And those are the footprints of the thief we saw from the cutscene earlier, who had that wrapped up thing under his arm that was suspiciously orb-shaped. We also know of this individual who's versed in the shadowy arts, meaning that he's definitely a thief. That went to the Battle of the Bones, which is a battlefield. I gotta pay attention here. Which is a battlefield in the Forgotten Realms that is known to be basically haunted by the undead spirits of the warriors that died there. And Battle of the Bones, by the way, plays a pretty big role in Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2. Speaking of Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2, I really do hope... Oh, these guys, these spirits that you see walking around here, they're harmless. Oh, the zombies here. Something to note about them. We haven't seen it yet, but if they fall down, there is a chance that their upper torsos will just split from their lower body, and they'll start crawling towards you. So you kind of have to be, like, aware of what's going on. Studded leather boots. Hello. Now, I want to say as a general rule, if, like, you manage to knock a limb off of them, like I did here, it usually won't happen. Like, I think they have to have both of their arms. But it is something to be aware of. Now, one of these directions will take me to the crypts where Ipswich's brother is. And then the other one will take me towards progress. So I think... And I can't see the footprints on either side, so... I'm going to go this way for... There's a save point right there. Okay, I'm going to go left first. Good adventurers go left. Okay, I immediately regret these decisions. Remember when I said that the kobolds, like the big line of kobolds throwing spears, was like the most enemies that the game throws at you? I was wrong. Okay, gotta get out of there and get swarmed. Alright, level up. So this might be the time to start taking some abilities here. Okay, so we've got we have a level up so we can increase our attributes. So this is another thing that is actually pretty accurate to the tabletop role-playing game. So every, like, I think it's every 4 levels, you get a +1 increase to one of your attributes, whatever you choose. I think right now I'm still doing a lot of melee attacks. So I think I'm going to put it into strength. Like, the dexterity is going to come in handy later on, but right now I'm still primarily using strength, so I'm going to go with that. And I think what I'm going to do is actually pick up ice arrows. Now, it's not going to help me a lot here, because I'm fighting undead. But a little bit later in the game, and like I think the zombies are still kind of vulnerable to it. Oh, I need the bow, that's why. Okay. Yeah, that felt good. Yeah, so the skeleton takes nothing from that, so they are immune to cold, which is fine. Oops, no, I don't want to delete games. I want to save. So yeah, I do love, like, the freeze of the cheese. Okay. Well, I have chosen progress. So going left equals progress, so I gotta actually go back. I want to say I fall for that every time, too. Like, I see that there's a save point right on the other side of the door. And I always think that, oh, save points are, like, save points equal progression. So if I see the save point, I don't necessarily want to go there. Oh, that feels so good.
I don't have the energy.
Of course, I'm now running out of mana super fast. Now, if they land on their side like that, then you're fine. It's basically when they land, like, face down, that there's a chance that they could get back up. Finally. Longsword. Is it a regular longsword or a crappy one? Okay. 2 to 8. Let's try it out for a bit. Now, I also need to recall some. Because... Oops, not yet, though. Because I'm running out of weight that I can carry. But increasing my strength to 18 also did increase the amount of weight that I could carry by an extra 10 pounds. So that's good. You can carry basically 10 pounds per point of strength. So 18 strength lets me carry 180 pounds. Alright, so again, I found progress there, so I don't necessarily want to go that way. Let's come back here first. Go this way. So we'll jump, because jumping, much like rolling in video games, is simply faster. Okay, so that guy landed face down, but he was missing a limb, so he didn't start crawling after me, which is good. I'm pretty sure they do that at this point in the game. Like, I think there's zombies you fight later that maybe do it a little more frequently.
I'm carrying too much.
Iron shit, dang it. Alright. I want that iron shield. Let's go over here. We're gonna throw out this club. It's worth 59 gold. That's actually not bad. What can we toss? Ooh, a fine spike club. So this is a situation where I could consider using this club over even the longsword, because the longsword does 2 to 8 damage, so it can do 3 more, but it could also do 3 less. Whereas the spike club, it should give me basically the exact same amount of damage every single time. But it's also worth a lot of money, so I'm not going to do that. We're going to stick to the longsword. I'm going to throw away this dagger. Oh, I already have an iron shield. I still kind of want to pick that one up to sell it. Stud leather boots. Ooh, yes, I wanted to wear those because those are better. Worn leather boots. Toss those.
Too much.
Alright, you know what, buddy?
My pack won't hold anymore.
Okay. Alright, so yeah, we're going to recall now.
If quality and price are your chief concerns, then look no farther. You'll find my shop has excellent weapons at reasonable prices.
Reasonable prices, really?
Friend, I think the smell of the
I am going to keep the spiked fine. No, I'm going to sell it. I'm going to sell it. I'm going to keep the light mace, though, just to have a bludgeoning weapon if it becomes necessary. Which shield do I like more? I think I like the one that I'm using more. Okay.
Swords, axes,
And that's sellable, because that doesn't do anything. Alright, yeah, I want to find Ipswich's brother's tomb. Whoops. Because if I return the amulet to him, he gives me an item that will be useful going through the rest of this crypt. Whoops. So that's what I want to find. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish the crypt. At least crypt level 1. I might just finish the whole crypt in this video or in this stream. I keep saying video. I'm more used to doing stuff on YouTube still. But on this stream, I might finish off. I might finish off the crypt, and then we'll call it there. I may also decide to wrap it up after finishing the first level of the crypt. We'll see, because we're actually getting near... It may not seem like it, but we're actually getting kind of close to... Ooh, a fine staff. Yeah, that'll sell for a lot. I'm not going to bother with the padded boots. But yeah, there's not actually a whole lot left to do in Act 1. Now, the one disappointing thing about this game, and something that Baldur's Gate Darklands 2 does do a lot better. So we know how we have these like sort of like side quests that we do. Like for Ipswich, we're trying to find the amulet from his brother's tomb. Or for the girl, we're trying to find out what happened to her boyfriend, even though we know he's super dead. You know, getting the bottle of wine for the drunkard there. I like stuff like that. And in this game, that's basically it. Like Acts 2 and 3 don't have any of those quests. Like Act 2 might have one. Might have one. Huh. I really thought that this was going to be the brother's tomb, but I guess it's not. My memories of this game are a little bit you know, foggy, so you'll just have to bear with me here. The brother's tomb is super obvious because the amulet will be like right on top of the sarcophagus. Okay, so we didn't actually miss much there except for a little bit of experience points, and that's okay. Like, but yeah, so like Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2 takes place almost exclusively in Baldur's Gate. Like that's the main central area that you are constantly in. Like, so in this game, there's 3 different locations that we go to. So we start in Baldur's Gate, then we transition to like Act 2. It takes place in a different part of the Western Heartlands, and then Act 3 also takes place in a different section. So, like, we only spend Act 1 in the city. In Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2, the city is sort of like the central hub that you're always in. This might be where the brother's tomb is, actually. And so as you go through the different acts of the game, there's still going to be like some side quests to do. There's still going to be some people to interact with. Even if they don't give you like the same amount of fetch quests. Whoops. I didn't actually mean to use that potion there. But even if they're not giving you like the same amount of fetch quests, there's still like people you can interact with throughout the game to do stuff, and I think they did a better job of that there.
This looks important.
Alright, found the medallion. Recall. So we're going to give this guy his brother's medallion.
Friend. How fares your travels? Why, yes. Yes, it is. Oh, thank you, friend. Thank you.
He seems like such a genuinely nice guy.
I feared I would have to leave Baldur's Gate without it. Oh, thank you. Please,
even though his
friend,
side quest is literally grave robbing.
It aided me on my travels, and perhaps it can help you now, as you have helped me.
Thank you. So he gave us a mace of disruption. So we're going to use that right away, and we're going to sell off a bunch of this other stuff.
You need something to split someone's skull.
So we're going to sell this, we're going to sell that, selling that. Definitely selling the rusty longsword. I'm going to keep the regular longsword, but we're getting rid of this light mace, because it's garbage to us now.
If quality and price are your chief concerns, then look no farther.
We actually have a decent amount of gold, too.
Weapons at reasonable prices.
So we can afford... we can almost afford one of the we can actually afford the flaming longsword, which is really good. Or the masterwork shortbow, +1. Again, I'm going to hold off for now. I know for a fact that we're not too far removed from, I think, getting both of these just given to us.
What are you looking for?
Alright. So let's test out this Mace of Disruption and see what it's all about. See that? It doesn't do it all the time, but there is a percent chance that when you hit an undead with it, they could just, like, disintegrate. I wish it would happen a little more frequently. Wow. Like, I think it's a percent chance, and it's just, I'm just not having any good luck with it. Come on, come on. Wow, only one out of all of those. It's a little disappointing, but it's still a huge help. Man, there we go. There we go. There we go. That's better. That's what I like to see. You can also find a Morning Star of Disruption. And Morning Stars are like some of the better melee weapons in the game. I don't think they have like the highest damage range, but they have a very like narrow range, so they're very consistent in the amount of damage they do. So worn padded, it's the same thing. But I'm super stoked to have that weapon now. That's gonna help a lot. Like any second now would be awesome. It's also, oh look, a light Mace of Disruption. Of course. I'm really surprised that it's not affecting the skeletons as much as it did the zombies. Like, when was the last time? Ow, ow, ow. When was the last time it actually worked on a skeleton? Like, come on. There we go. Thank you. I appreciate that. Alright, so in this section of the game alone, again, exclusive to Baldur's Gate, there are shortcuts that we can find that if we run out of oh, that loading is so quick. And you can step on the rats. So yeah, you can actually walk around at the outside of the city, which is cool. You can't really go very far, right? Like, but there are different locations that you can visit. So here's the Elf Song Tavern. That sign actually looks really cool. I don't remember the sign much from the GameCube days. Again, it might just be the fact that it was on a CRT, right? But there are also other shortcuts that we can find in other parts of this little section here. But I think as a general rule, like I want to say there's probably one here, but as a general rule, you have to unlock them from like where they lead to, right? So the one for the crypt, like I know there's okay, so here's the sewer one. So this will actually take us back to the section of the sewers that we need to go to later on. When we actually confront these, man, the loading is so quick. I absolutely love it. The downside of the city section is that you can't rotate the camera at all, which is a little annoying, but not a deal breaker. Now, interestingly, on the Game Boy Advance version, like on this version, the shopkeeper is he's just hanging out inside the tavern. And you just talk to him inside the tavern to access his shop. But in the Game Boy Advance version, you actually have to locate his shop in the city. So you actually have to leave the tavern to get to his shop, and I like that more, because it makes more sense to me. Like, why is the general store owner just, you know, hanging out at the tavern and selling stuff there? Ooh, elven boots. Okay, so elven, the big deal with elven is that they're lighter, but it's 2 less armor than what I'm currently wearing, so that's just something I'm going to hold on to sell. So yeah, like I said, I just kind of like the I like the way that the Game Boy Advance did a little bit more, because it feels like you just have to explore more of the city to find the shopkeeper instead of him just being in that first area in a building that's not his shop. Okay, so here are the 3 pedestals that we were told about. So what we have to do is we just push these urns. One is, you know, silver colored, one is sort of a golden colored, and then the other one I think is supposed to be bronze, but it's green. So it's like maybe copper. And then there we go. And that opens up the trap. Now, he said when he knocked the things off, that it closed this so that it cut people off. But if I do this now and knock them off their pedestals now, the exact same thing he did before, it still keeps the door open. So there you go. Alright, so we're actually nearing the 2-hour mark on this stream, so I think I'm going to cut it off here. This isn't one of my normal nights, and I understand that, and it was kind of short notice, but I just wanted to get into doing another stream. Last week I had my second COVID vaccine, so there was a few days where I felt like I was hit by a truck, so I wasn't able to stream then. Again, this also wasn't the game that I meant to stream tonight, but it wouldn't let me stream the one that I wanted to for some reason. I don't know why, but it just, like, I just got a message like this, you know, this software doesn't permit sharing. So we started this one a little bit early. It's going to go into the regular rotation, replacing the other Dark Alliance game that I was playing. Mainly because I reached a point where it's like it requires me to have a group, and I just don't want to do that on stream. Because I don't really know anybody that has it that would want to play it with me. Yeah, just relax, buddy. I'm getting to the end here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go down to the crypt level 2, clear out whatever I have to in the first room, but we're actually going to end the stream here. Okay, I don't have to clear anything out. Now that chest is actually where there's a chance that you could have had the Morning Star of Disruption. Oh, I love that effect. So satisfying. Even though I hate the way that satisfying gets run around these days, but anyway. So good. So, I'm going to save here. Okay, hold on. But we're going to wrap it up here, and then later in the week, I'm going to pick up stream number 2 of this, which should be Thursday night, starting at 11 p.m. Eastern. So for anyone who popped in just to, you know, check out, even if they didn't comment or anything, that's cool. I get it. I do appreciate, you know, the few people that did sort of pop in for the viewer count for a moment. And of course, anyone who watches this later on, when it's available, just to, you know, to watch on Twitch for a couple of weeks after the stream tonight. And to anyone who's watching this on YouTube, again, I really do appreciate it. I love doing this. It's a lot of fun. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the next one. So thank you guys very much. I appreciate it as always. And I will see you next time. Take care.